So allow me to introduce everyone that's here. We have Arlene Costello, who is the Sunshine State TESOL president, along with Tony Erben, Andrea Lypka, and Carla Huck. And they're going to be talking to us about their presentation today titled Tapping Creativity to Enhance Communication and Member Engagement, Practices and Beliefs. And they're going to be talking to us today about engaging members in association activities and sort of the everyday affiliate challenge. The presenters are going to share the model and frameworks on how to be efficient for leaders to build a deep and meaningful change in the face of complex association conditions and situations. So I'll turn it over to you, Arlene, and your team, and enjoy and take it away.
All right, thank you so much, James. And the previous presenters were very, very enthusiastic. I don't know how we can beat Laura's and Monica's enthusiasm and presentation, but Florida sure will try. So at this time, I'd like for you to take a minute to turn on your camera and take a selfie or take a picture of the screen and share it with your social media. I'm all for pictures, and so therefore we can do that. So let's take a minute and go for your full screen and take a selfie and share it with your social media connections. With that, it was great to learn about what all other affiliates are doing. And in this challenging times, we truly have to be creative on how to engage our members. So first, I'd like to thank James, Lynn, and Valerie for giving us a space in this year's conference. And this is our debut presentation to the Affiliate Network System or Affiliate Network Council. So my name is Arlene Costello, president of Sunshine State TESOL of Florida. I'm program specialist at the IEP department of the University of West Florida. And I've been listening to your enthusiasm and to your future plans to attend TESOL convention in Pittsburgh. So I am taking notes because I chair the convention's professional council for 2022 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So we're making plans for that. But right now I am with Sunshine State TESOL, and I would like to introduce my co-presenters, Dr. Tony Erben, our first vice president and editor of the Sunshine State TESOL Journal and eBooks. And we have Dr. Andrea Lypka, who is our second vice president, program chair and social media manager, and Ms. Carla Huck, secretary and webmaster of our association. So from there, I am just going to call them on a first name basis. And our presentation this afternoon will focus on background and theoretical frameworks, some essential questions, initiatives, programs, and recognitions and projects. And then we'll give you your turn for reflections and wrap up of our presentation. So with that, so what brings us today to share at the Affiliate Network System Council? As part of Sunshine TESOL's implementation of our strategic plan, my co-presenters and I decided to highlight and share with you Sunshine TESOL of Florida's creative efforts to build member capacity and involvement, and to serve its members in different contexts and encourage more involvement among members in order to survive and thrive in this new and complex world. To begin with, I would like to pose several questions to you. Why is it difficult to enlist members to volunteer in an association's committee work or assume leadership positions? Are we recycling members and leaders in our association? Have you ever experienced rejection by your colleagues when asking them to serve in professional development committees or association's projects and initiatives? And why do our members react passively to call for in our call for volunteers when you're looking for support in maintaining the strengths of our association? In my breakout room today, we talked about having the members as the key and the important people in our association. So what's unique about our association, about our affiliate, is the systems of operation. And we decided to adopt a theoretical framework and strategic goals in order to steer and align our organization's activities and initiatives, such as the theories of organizational change by Fullan and the elements of creativity by Dr. Paul Torrance, who is the modern era of father of creativity. Since the focus of my research is on gifted English learners, I'm very particular about the different elements of creativity here. So as Michael Fullan was preparing to write his book entitled 6 Secrets of Change, what the best leaders do to help their organization survive and thrive, he found these themes woven in his interviews: understanding change, moral purpose, knowledge use, relationships, and coherence. Among the main points of these themes are, back up, Andrea, go back to the other screen. Among the main points of these themes are purposeful connections, leaders investing in individuals and in the development of individuals, and collaborative efficacy to accomplish improvements, and continuous clear display of results. And according to Fullan, the job of the leaders in an efficient organization is to provide good directions while pursuing its implementation of its goals through meaningful relationships. So along with that theory of organizational change are the elements of creativity, which are fluency. It's the number of ideas a person expresses as stimulus in a meaningful manner, as we have seen in the different presentations. Originality is the unusualness of the response, and elaboration, which is adding pertinent details or pieces of information added to the original stimulus. Next slide, Andrea. So let me give you some background information of Sunshine TESOL practices. So as a new decade begins, the members of the TESOL board believe that to be a relevant organization in Florida, Sunshine TESOL will need to rethink and reimagine how best to serve its members in different contexts and encourage more involvement among members. So I'd like to take you back to Sunshine TESOL's history. And Sunshine TESOL underwent multiple stages of development, from 4-state groups to Gulf TESOL, the Sunshine TESOL in Florida, and in 1995, the affiliate was established. For example, in our observation, as any organization and affiliate, in the past, we have been a one-time event organization. We are an organization, and then we hold an annual conference. And then we say the board is the mighty expert in decision-making. We have been detached from our local chapters. We have 8 local chapters. We have 6, we had 4, but we never engaged them. We had limited presence in the state. And then there's a gap in communication with members. But I think the main cause for that is because it is an annual revolvement of leaders in the organization. So as we think of reimagining and reimagining Sunshine TESOL in 2021, we established our strategic goals, and we have different activities now that are aligned to our strategic goals and aligning those activities to the themes of organizational change, which we adopted from Michael Fullan. So with that, we say in understanding of change, we created initiatives. We had they will talk about that in the next slides. We have different programs. We have recognition projects. And then the theme for that moral purpose is to rethink and reimagine who we are as Sunshine State TESOL and our role in Florida. As you know, we have different issues and advocacy part in Florida. And so we are now very active in that, and they will talk more about those issues. And knowledge use. Our members would like to know how they can apply their knowledge in the roles of our organization. So Tony will talk about our journal and the press initiative. We have our professional learning activities and our newsletter that's very active. Our relationships now are strong with our organization and our members. We are a member-driven organization. We have 8 local chapters. We are connected with different foundations, both in the public and the private sector. We have partnerships with the Florida Department of Education and higher institutions, and the association, FABES, is called the Florida Association of Bilingual Educators and Supervisors. And we're moving into relationships with the content areas of education in Florida. What brings us together, coherence, are our mission and vision, which is published in our website, our strategic goals, and website and social media. Next slide, Andrea. So I would like to share with you our strategic goals. As you can see, strategic goals are just tools for implementation of the success of our organization. What matters are the theories that we believe on. So we have these different areas of advocacy, professional learning and engagement, governance, communication, and leadership. Most especially, we would like to expand Sunshine TESOL's presence, roles, and influence in Florida and TESOL International, and that's what brings us here today. So here are some examples of our activities. So we created a special issue of our newsletter last December for holidays around the world in order to engage our members and submit articles in the newsletter. We have reinvigorated and reestablished relationships with our former presidents, so they're back in the membership fold. We held our first virtual conference, which Tony will talk about, our virtual conference last year, and also our hybrid conference this following year. In 2021, we have advocacy training. And the last picture there is a fun picture with our quarterly chat with local chapter presidents. And during Halloween time, we dressed up during our meeting. So that was fun. Next slide. So I'm going to hand the microphone now to Tony, who's going to talk about our great initiative, the Journal and Press.
Well, thank you, Arlene, and hello, everybody. If you think of a journal, you probably would think, oh, that's something for scholars, that's something for university professors, and that's something high and mighty, that if you're a K-12 teacher, I haven't got the time to write, I haven't got anything important to say. And of course, nothing can be further from the truth. We used to have a journal that came out once a year in hard copy that was exactly that. It was like an academic journal, but there are tons of academic journals out in on the internet, and other associations have, and we didn't want to replicate that. We wanted to make a journal relevant for our membership. And so in answering the question, how can we speak to our wider K-16 membership, what we did was, since 2018, we bring out the journal now twice a year. And we have lots of new sections in the journal which readily appeal to teachers and which our teachers readily submit to. So one of those sections is what we call our links to practice. It's a one-pager. Teachers send to me as the editor PowerPoints, which I convert into YouTube. It's an online journal, I should say now, not anymore a hard copy journal, which allows me to upload visual media. Teachers submit both when they come to our conference, if they want to resubmit their presentations and speak a little bit, how their presentations link to their own practice and what they would like to share. We also have a perspectives section that even our student teachers, our pre-service teachers submit to, as well as we still have a research section. We still have a section devoted to pedagogy. And of course, now also in the journal, we have an advocacy section. So the key takeaway is, and by the mere fact that it's a virtual online journal now, we send it out to a vast amount of people, hundreds of people. It's not anymore necessarily tied to our membership because it's free to everybody online. And it's our, I should say the contributions range where we have a 30% acceptance rate to an 80% acceptance rate. What you're seeing here now is this is again took shape in 2019. We also wanted to capture all the golden things that teachers do and never feel that they have either the opportunity or know how to do it. So we created our own Sunshine TESOL Press. It is, we published our foundational publication last year at our first virtual conference. As you can see up there, it's the blue on the right, and you can see a little bit some of the topics. 35 different ESOL educators from around Florida contributed to it, and it was basically 45 years Sunshine TESOL, a chronicle of ESOL advocacy, research, and practice in Florida. Hugely successful, sold widely. Our 2021 book that we are publishing, and as you can see, that's on the right. If any of you know the Chicken Soup series, it's all good stuff for the soul. Well, you know, we went through a hell of a lot, all of us, this past year with the pandemic. And there were a lot of there's a lot of stories out there of success, resilience, passion, growth, and we want to capture that. So we are producing, which will be launched at our hybrid conference this year. And as you can see, it's surviving the pandemic, learning to move forward. Teachers will contribute it, educators, but also students will contribute their stories to it. And it will also be a multilingual text in Florida's 4 largest second languages, which are Spanish, Haitian Creole, Tagalog, and Portuguese. And we are very excited about that. And I think that's all. Oh, the last thing I want to leave you with before I pass on to my colleague is our virtual conference, thanks to Mr. Zoom last year in November, highly successful. We had many more attendees than we normally have in our face-to-face conference. So we're going to build on that. We're going to also, our conference theme is reconnecting. It will be in October, and it'll be hybrid because some of our teachers want to do the face-to-face thing. And I want to leave you with the thought that our organization in the past was definitely a face-to-face organization. But again, with Mr. Zoom and everything that Mr. Zoom has to offer us, we've become, by default, by necessity, also very much an online organization, particularly in that Mr. Zoom allows us to meet much more in small groups, communities of practice throughout the year with our membership. So I'm going to pass it on now to my colleague, and I believe it is Andrea Lypka.
Thank you, Tony. So I'm going to talk about the communication platforms. We encourage our members and also engagement through our communication and social media. So what is our social media and communication? We have a mailing list. We also have a newsletter. Arlene is creating the newsletter, a weekly newsletter, and all of our members are receiving it. We also had webinars. The policy and education series was inspired by our experiences at TESOL Advocacy and Policy Summit, and it was highly appreciated by and attended also by educators worldwide. Then, of course, we have our yearly conference, which, as Tony mentioned earlier, has evolved into an online, and then currently we are toying with the idea of having a hybrid conference. And then our recent committee is called Professional Learning Committee. And the idea of engaging fellow members in this committee is to contribute to professional development based on members' interest. I also wanted to mention the TESOL Advocacy Summit because for me, it was instrumental last year. Carla, Arlene, and I attended the TESOL Advocacy Summit, and we created social media postings for our members and hopefully inspired educators to apply advocacy to their teaching context. And as Tony mentioned, those experiences also were able to be converted into an article in the SSTESOL journal. So a lot can be. Yes,
Andrea,
please.
I'd like to interrupt just like New Yorkers do. I'd like to say that our organization, Sunshine State TESOL, this year and last year created and constructed a professional learning development plan, and our professional learning committee is tasked with implementing those plans.
Thank you. And also Tony mentioned the conference. Last year we had 500 attendees. Previously we had 200 attendees. And I believe that the attendance has increased because we heavily advertised the conference on social media by tagging various organizations and members. So that was really a big draw, and by us being virtual and as Tony mentioned, we used Zoom. We were simple and we had no hiccups. In the next slide, I wanted to point out the social media platforms. Carla will talk about the website, but managing the social media platforms is a one-person job. I currently manage it, and as I mentioned, Carla is overseeing the website. So we are on Facebook. We have over 3,000 friends and 311 followers on Facebook. We engage members by tagging them and also tag organizations in our postings. Last year, we changed our settings from allowing all members to post on our social media accounts to to allowing only managers to post because we wanted to vet the postings. We are also since March 2020, we are on Instagram, and we just have only 55 followers and 108 posts. And currently, we are also experimenting with TikTok, which allows us to post video files. And when I created a video file on our new journal call for submissions, it received just, I think, in a day or two, 302 views. So there is a lot that can be done through social media, such as digital fundraising, showcasing Florida educators and administrators, developing a YouTube channel for professional development with the Professional Learning Committee. But currently we are a little bit limited, and we are hopeful to engage more members. In the next slide, I wanted to give you a snapshot to why is it important to use Google Analytics, Twitter Analytics, because as you can see, I love seeing the upward trends. And you can also monitor your interactions with other organizations in the field. And in March 2020, we had 860 subscribers and 3,000 impressions. In March 2021, we have close to 1,000 followers and 5,500 tweet impressions. So, you know, and as you can, if you are following us on social media, you can see that we are repurposing content for various communication platforms. As I mentioned earlier, our TESOL advocacy summit reflections were posted on Facebook, and then they ended up being in an SSTESOL journal article. And we continue engaging our members through social media, and our membership is steadily increasing, I believe, because of this. We also continue to disseminate original content across our platforms and other organizations' platforms, and my TESOL and local chapters, we also promote our events there. And next, I will introduce Carla, who will speak about our website.
Okay, hi everyone. So I came on board as the webmaster last year, and I've been working on adding more content. You see all these great things we're doing. We wanted to showcase it and make sure our members could come to the website and see what we're doing with monthly updates. So Arlene had mentioned local chapter involvement. I am actually a chapter president, and we want to have a message every quarter. We feature one of our chapters, and we have them nominate an educator of the quarter, a teacher, and give their bio and some pictures, tell us what they're doing in their chapter. So we have that featured on the website. We also have all the professional learning you've been hearing about. The monthly newsletters are posted there. We have a book club with recommended reading. We have our teaching and learning resources, and we have all our webinars advertised there. So as Andrea said, we're kind of going cross-platform. So you can find everything on the website, and we're also using the social media to draw people back to the website. We have annual awards and scholarships that are tied in with our conference. That's all digital, it's transparent, it's on our website now. We're open for the next conference. We also post then names, photos, information about the previous winners, so you can look back and see if you're eligible for one of these awards and scholarships. And of course, our big conference, we have got registration and call for proposals on the website. We've also added, because we were virtual and now we're hybrid, virtual presentation tips. Our exhibitors, we put full page ads, beautiful ads, colorful, that link back to their site. We leave them up for a year. So even I've used it to go back and see if I wanted to order something in my district. Look who was advertising, who was exhibiting at the conference. We keep the programs of all our past conferences. So if you want to turn in a proposal, you can go and look through and see what other people have done, our strands. And then we have a scrolling slideshow of our sponsors. So anyone who has donated will have their name added, and we have that all year scrolling on one page of the website. So here you can see our local chapters. I'm down there, Southwest Florida, TESOL. I actually have a conference next week. I may have to add that in the chat. So we are very united. We all call on each other. Here's an example of an educator of the quarter from one of our other chapters. And then our president's big initiative this year was advocacy. So we've done an advocacy series, and we've posted so many resources our members asked for: position statements, current advocacy issues, sample letters and presentations. So you can read something Arlene has written and presented to the legislation. We've got training series. All the PowerPoints are there, and you can see the news that we update constantly. Anything that we've written a letter to for advocacy is posted there, so our members can then use it in their local areas. So for example, in January, we were opposed to the WIDA access for ELs, forcing students to come into school face-to-face to take the exam. So we have all examples of current issues in our state, and you can see in that little picture on the left, we had our local senator and representative come talk to us about issues of interest in Florida, which right now are the native language assessments and certification of bilingual teachers. And again, here's about our conference. I showed you a few pages, the interactive exhibitors page, and our scrolling slideshow of sponsors.
So thank you all, team. I'd like to do a shout out to them, Andrea, Carla, and Tony. They are my partners in crime. They're very responsive, very involved in making sure that our activities are posted online, are posted on the website, because the key is being current. Can't have information that are not current in our website. The website is the face of our organization, and therefore we need to have everything posted, and they are just fabulous people. So the benefits of engaged members, we have seen growth in our membership. So for the past 2 years, we have actually increased by 57%. Our membership involvement increased by 42%, and sponsorships and donations to our programs. So last year was the first year that we solicited sponsorships and donations. And folks, there are people there that are very, very generous. All what they're waiting for is for you to ask. And that's what we did. We just asked, and we have levels of different sponsorships. And so in the past, we depended on the registration to fund our scholarships and grants and other programs. But now we are going to expand on those sponsorships and donations. Our newsletter, they're read by 40% of our memberships. Our ebooks are really, really another part of the revenue making tools. So 50 or more books have been purchased, and our journals are distributed to 500 people. So with that, what keeps us coherent, as I said earlier, are our website and interactive current and social media, and the alignment of purpose for our organization. Yes. So we have our new venture, which is the first hybrid state conference. And I'd like for Tony to help me with the explanation on why the theme is reconnecting and what we're going to have and to do during our hybrid conference. Tony?
So putting on a virtual conference like we did in November, or now in this coming October, a hybrid conference boils down to a matter of organization and teamwork and everybody contributing. So as I briefly said the last time I spoke this afternoon, Zoom is a wonderful tool. And if you do it right, it's a very simple tool for attendees to use to participate in the conference. We had 16 strands in October, last year in November, 16 strands, 10 sessions per strand. So it was, you know, a huge affair. Now, this year, our members were really happy with that. It went off without a hitch. But this year, of course, our members want the face-to-face. They want to go to sessions. They want to speak to exhibitors. And I want to also say that our exhibitors participated in our virtual sessions as well last November. So what we're going to do in October is we go from Thursday evening, all day Friday, all day Saturday. We're going to have all day Friday, the face-to-face, all day Saturday will be a combination of face-to-face and virtual. People attending virtually will, they'll have a different cost to attend, and it will be much lower because being virtual, they can really only pick one strand at all. And what we're going to do is we're going to tap people on the shoulder from last year whose presentations were highly successful and have them redeliver those sessions. Anyway, that's the idea. Of course, what you're seeing now is our logo. And the other thing I have to say is we do use a conference platform organization. They're called Cvent. By no means am I giving them a plug. They are hugely expensive and lessons learned. Though our website is on Wild Apricot, and my guess is that after our contract with Cvent ends, we'll go with Wild Apricot to use as our conference platform. And that's just a word of advice for those of you who are wondering which way to go with how to organize your conference on a platform. Given that even Big TESOL had its own problems with their platform this year. Anyway, that's all from me. Back to you, Arlene.
All right, thank you, Tony. So within our next slide. So now we're going to give you your turn. We're going to wrap up on reflections and takeaways. And so what I would like to ask you is to share your experiences in promoting member engagement in your affiliate or your association, and like to reflect on the values espoused by your affiliates. And please type in the chat box your takeaways from our session. And anyway, just jump in and express your thoughts verbally so that we will have a more interactive session at this time. Mm-hmm. Any takers? We would love to. We would love to hear from your experiences in promoting your member engagement.
Arlene, I think we really stunned everybody.
I'll go. I'm not going to turn on my mic because I've been gardening while I've been listening, so I'm a little bit dirty. But I want to thank you for sharing everything. I am from Ohio and with Ohio TESOL, and this has been a real learning curve, you know, where we were mostly a once a year conference focused organization. And so what we did last fall is we moved to a webinar series, Tuesdays with TESOL, where we had every Tuesday at the same time a webinar series with different speakers and guest speakers. And so that lasted that was most of the fall. And then this spring, we're having a symposium for graduate presentations. We are doing a couple book studies. We had EL literacy. So a silver lining, I guess, of the past year we've had is that we had more member engagement year round rather than that once a year focus. Of course, we're missing the face-to-face networking, which is being missed quite a bit. But I think, you know, our goal when we eventually do go back face-to-face would be to continue having different events throughout the year. The graduate symposium is going to be the first time we've ever done that. And so I'm hoping that will be an annual event for us. The book studies will continue doing those, I hope. But yeah, it's been a real learning curve, and it's been a challenge on our board as well, where we've all had to devote a whole lot more time for a volunteer board where we are all volunteers. So it's been a challenge for all of us, as well as we go through our own personal dealings with the pandemic and and our new teaching situations and everything too. So it's been a learning curve for sure, and for our board too. So I just wanted to share that. But those are some of the ideas that we are thinking of. So thank you for sharing everything that you're doing. And I really like the idea of on your website, you know, everything that you do draws everybody back to your website, and having the scrolling slideshow of sponsors, because that's one thing we struggle is how to get our sponsors involved more this year. And I love that idea. So thank you. I just thank you to your team.
Yeah, thank you, Dana. You brought out a very, very important concept there, which is recognition. Recognition is so big and big for people, and having those rolling pictures of our sponsors, of our exhibitors, and then putting the logos of our sponsors and also our partners. It really works. So as I said again, our website is our face, our association's face. And I like colorful slides and I like colorful pages. And so Carla and I thought, yeah, Carla, more colors, please. So that is really wonderful. And you know, transparency is another secret of a change in organization. So according to Michael Fullan, be transparent. So I asked Carla to publish everything, like our constitution and bylaws is on the website. My president's report is on the website, which is aligned to our strategic goals. And so, yes, thank you so much for sharing. Mm-hmm. We're learning from each other, so please feel free to jump in. Mm-hmm. Okay, I love the slide that Andrea just shared with us. It says, give the best of yourself. That is called excellence. We always strive for excellence. And I thought I've had that. As we were talking yesterday about, what was our topic yesterday, James, about copyright and all that, and open access.
OER, yes.
Right. So this one is from my emotional IQ, emotional intelligence quotient class, which I love very much. And so I kind of just use that in my presentation. All right, any more?
Well, thank you, Arlene and Carla and Andrea and you know, Tony as well. It's always great to hear what everyone is doing. And I think you really spoke to that, you know, that need for recognition